Now let's get into the details. The Daily Graphic, 211,849 delegates to elect MPP flag bearer. Party promises free fair polls. We have Joe Osewusu, chairperson of the Presidential Election Committee, looking really nice in his suit and his white teeth. Also, Metro Mass spare parts stuck at port for 2 years. Caesar Kale is on the front page. Yesterday we brought this to you. It's also highlighted here. Road crashes killed 2,949 in 35 years. 63,500 died since 91. This is the highest in 35 years. Road Safety Authority says. Meanwhile, Fair Sky Group commissions phase 1 of Yendi Solar Plant in March with Eric Sedi Kutoche. Looking very nice on the front page here. Kolebu has received medical equipment from Newmont on the back page of the Daily Graphic, and steel industry assures government of stable supply and prices.
Let me take you to the Ghanaian Times. The big story says motorway expansion 35% complete. Contractor implements measures to minimize inconvenience. Also on the front page this morning, will scrutinize government business to entrench constitutional democracy. Coming with the photograph of the minority leader Alexander Penyo marking. Ghana Armed Forces rejects 60% HIV claim in recruitment medical screening. And Ghana exports 120 health workers to Antigua.
Let me do Citi Newsroom before you do the Daily Guide. 1 dead, several injured in violent youth clash at Winneba. Also, another fire hits Kumasi as blaze engulfs Anwuna Market. Or is it Anwuna Market? It's Anwona. So I don't know how they pronounce that. Finance Ministry warns against sabotage of AI-driven customer systems. Ghana USDP Maritime Corporation after Philadelphia port talks. Meanwhile, Kweku Kwatin says Kennedy has urgency to fix Ghana's problems. And Jenapo says Baumia is MPP's strongest contender for 2028. Those are some of the headlines on citinewsroom.com.
Let me take you to the Chronicle. NDC used anti-gay bill to win power, but they are now running away from it. Apenyo marking is quoted here. IGP Yohonu is also quoted as saying the turnaround tiger. Well, basically, it's an article talking about him as the turnaround tiger. And confidence in economy restored as government raises 12.78 billion Ghana cedis at T-bill auction.
The Daily Guide says NDC flag bearer contest. Nana Jane picks Haruna according to Apenyo. That's on the front page. And other headlines: Abu Trika discharged and rearrested. Meanwhile, NDC MPP EC sued over electoral systems. Fix failures in oil palm sector according to Kwabna Mening. And Daddy Lumba estate case. Kumasi High Court strikes out application.
Let me take you to the catalyst. Stability is not the destination. It is the launch pad. This is according to the governor of the central bank. Also on the front page, government pledges stronger engagement to protect media freedom. And some other stories here. If I take you to the Daybreak newspaper, they say that Taleh sacked from national security. This is it comes with a photograph of Colonel Robert Taleh. Also, Mahama applauds Fair Sky Group's faith-driven philanthropy. And another story here that says BOG 6 Economic Reset Partnership with Prim Park. And Gold Board Western Galamsey activities, minority people.
ChannelOne News Online. Prof. Mpom Boateng Nyahotamaklo sue NDC MPP EC over delegate system. Also, minorities slam government for failing to reform energy sector. Meanwhile, MPP left Ghana in crisis with 15 according to majority. So two leaders spoke yesterday. In other headlines, Asim Breku farmer rescues injured black kite all the way from Belgium. And I also East by election, MPP picks Baba Ali to contest on their ticket.
I take you to the New Republic. Fritz fly at Peace Pact. Viper Baumia and Ken Bulldog in near Bros Shoka. Also on the front page, minority on Parks, Mahama's economic turnaround. Another story says lingua war looms over Google AI gig. And TikTok streamer takes Accra by storm.
My journal online, I'm ready for either outcome. Kwabena Japan shrugs off polls ahead of MPP contest. Also, fire sweeps through Anwuna Market in Kumasi, barely 24 hours after a similar incident at Sofo Line.
I'm sure they are trying to talk about Angolon, right?
Well, it's spelled A-N-W-O-N-A. Meanwhile, I Show Speed stole the show at the Black Star Square. That's an article on this phenomenon who's come to town, jumping into Jollof and doing all kinds of interesting things on our streets. If you go to the High Street Journal, risk-based verification or NIA's blanket verification, analysts make strong case against NIA's push. So that's analysis of the banking sector and security. Meanwhile, a sneak peek, the 4 considerations that will shape the MPC's decision this week. Governor Asiama is photographed here. GNA, Asokore Mampo Municipal distributes over 9,000 beds under Nkuko Nkitinkiti program. Meanwhile, Minority Caucus wants government on alleged third-term agenda vows and wavering scrutiny. Meanwhile, Minister assures resumption of Bong irrigation scheme after some delays. And then if you go international, BBC is reporting that Trump has abandoned his attack mode as Minneapolis shooting backlash grows. You know what's happening in that country. Second shooting in the same month of somebody by ICE officials. Those are some of the stories making the rounds. If you come to BBC's Africa page, Nigeria officers to face trial over coup plot allegations. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is photographed here. And then Uganda's military chief denies army assaulted Bobby Wine's wife. You know, Bobby Wine is claiming his wife has been was mistreated. Meanwhile, Kenyan court leader faces charges over 52 further deaths.
Oh,
Charlie, this man, he wrote, according to the authorities, he wrote letters to victims to their deaths while he was in prison cell.
Can you imagine?
Charlie, the things are just getting so. Meanwhile, we are told that the Mozambican flood is getting worse by the day. People are clinging to treetops as worst floods in a generation sweeps through Mozambique. This is crazy, guys. All right, Sky, let's go to the daily graphic.
Okay.
MPP is ready to conduct free, fair, and transparent election to elect a flag bearer for the party on Saturday. Chairperson of the Presidential Elections Committee, Joe Sewusu, has said, he says, we will oversee the process and the winner will be announced at the party headquarters where supporters will pledge their support as per the Peace Pact. Joe Sewusu, who is a former first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, to the daily graphic in an interview yesterday ahead of the poll to elect the flag bearer for the election, that the election would be conducted by the EC and that all ballot papers, electoral roll, and other logistics have been dispatched to the various constituencies. There are 211,849 delegates on the electoral roll to cast their ballots at 333 polling centers in 276 constituencies nationwide, as well as party headquarters. Polls open at 7 a.m. on Saturday, end at 2 p.m. and hoping by evening all the results will be known.
Staying with those elections, if you go to page 6 of the Daily Guide, there's a story that says MPP NDC EC sued over electoral systems. Now, a Daily Guide report says this morning that 3 individuals have initiated a legal process at the Supreme Court alleging or challenging the constitutionality of the delegates-based system used by major political parties to elect their presidential and parliamentary candidates. Now, the plaintiffs are thoracic surgeon and former Minister of Environment, Science and Natural Resources, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, medical practitioner Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, and former Minister of State Dr. Christina Makoniema. Now, they are seeking constitutional declarations against the New Patriotic Party, National Democratic Congress, and the Convention People's Party. Now, according to the suit filed on January 23, 2026, the party's internal electoral arrangements materially disenfranchise ordinary party members and violate the democratic principles entrenched in the 1992 Constitution.
Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, a number of people speaking. Kweku Kwatin says Kennedy Japan has solutions for Ghana's jobless youth. He was speaking on a point of view yesterday. He acknowledged that both current politicians and past politicians bear some responsibility for the country's economic difficulty. He says Kennedy Japan is poised to provide a different kind of leadership. On the same interview, on the same program, Abu Jinapo says the party MPP must produce a leader broadly accepted by all Ghanaians. And he says Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia stands tall. And then Kwabena Japan has also been interviewed. He says he's ready for whatever outcome there will be and that he's confident that he will do well on Saturday.
Still talking about issues of who is to lead which party. If you go to page 3 of the Daily Guide, they have the lead stories that says NDC flag bearer contest, Nana Jane picks Haruna. They are quoting Apenyo Marking, and the stories by NS Kofi Edu, and it claims the minority leader Alexander Apenyo Marking has alleged that Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has already selected the Minister for Education Haruna Idrisu as her running mate ahead of what he described as an impending and bruising flag bearer contest within the governing National Democratic
Congress. What he said was part of a broader press conference where he made a lot of points, including accusing the Energy Ministry or the government for failing to transform the energy ministry. It was a press briefing yesterday. Afenyomakin described the government as hypocritical, saying the administration repealed the e-levy, citing its burden on Ghanaians, only to introduce heavier levies, including the Dumsor levy. He criticized the government for introducing the Dumsor levy, adding that despite the introduction of the levy, electricity tariffs have still gone up compared to what the when the e-levy was there. But his opposite number, the majority leader, says we should ignore him because he has failed. So NDC head of caucus in Parliament, Mahama Yariga, has said Ghanaians to describe the MPP's caucus led by Afenyomakin, describing the group as failed. This follows the minorities press conference. In a release signed by Yariga yesterday, so basically a few hours after Afenyomakin spoke, he basically listed the collapse of the financial system, severe depreciation of the CD, high inflation, basically politics. Both are accusing each other across the aisle. But I want to go to Afenyomakin's backyard because there's a problem there. Citi Newsroom is reporting that one person has died and several people injured in a violent clash at Winneba.
Oh, Charlie.
We have a photograph of a man holding a machete. One person is reported dead following a clash between two youth factions in Sanko, Winneba, in the central region. While it remains unclear what occasioned the clash, videos of members of the factions inflicting machete wounds on each other have been widely circulated. According to the Winneba Divisional Police Commander ACP Ibrahim Opoku, several persons got injured in the clash which occurred on Sunday, January 25. Citi News has gathered that one person identified as ex-Koba died after sustaining multiple machete and gunshot wounds in the clash. Police say they have intensified operations in the community to restore calm. So this is not really good. I feel the MP must rush there, as should other duty bearers, to see what's going on there.
Let me take you now to the page 2 of the Chronicle, which has a story on IGP Yohonu, the tiger, the turnaround tiger. So the story is by John Bediako and says the Ghana National Ghana Police Service, forgive me, is experiencing renewed confidence and operational momentum under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Christian Tete Yohonu, whose tenure has been marked by decisive action, discipline, and visible results. Now, affectionately, so he goes on to say all kinds of things and to call him by his
you mean the Otokinadu?
Exactly. So exactly. We urge him to go to Winneba and deal with the people who are misbehaving.
Now, the Ashanti Regional Minister is advising
the youth
residents to stop attacking police. This is GNA's story that came in yesterday following another attack. Now, Dr. Franka Makwini, Ashanti Regional Minister, has urged residents to desist from attacking police officers on duty and rather extend their full cooperation to them to help maintain law and order. The minister's appeal follows a confrontation that erupted between suspected legal miners and police officers engaged in routine duties at Bipotinting near Jakobu in the Amansia Central of Ashanti. This was on 23rd January. The incident resulted in one fatality and numerous injuries, sparked public discussion and concern over the fight between legal miners in the Ashanti region and the police. Now, Dr. Marquis, in a statement issued in Kumasi, described the incident as regrettable and preventable. He urged citizens to adhere to lawful directives. Now, I'm giving you a related story. In the Ashanti region, another fire hits
Angolo Market.
Charlie, I don't know whether it's in Angologa or they call it Angona. I think they spelled it the way the Ashantis pronounce it, but I guess it's Angolo. It says a fire swept through Angona Market near Afun Kwanta in Kumasi Metro on Monday evening, causing extensive damage to shops. It comes barely 24 hours after a similar incident destroyed properties at a cluster of mechanic shops at Sofo Line. Blaze started at 10 p.m. on Monday, destroying parts of the market. The Ghana Fire Service is already on the scene, attempting to douse the flames. According to eyewitnesses, the fire started in a section of the footwear factory where flammable material are usually stored. Sky, there was a fire at Circle last week.
That's right.
There was a fire in Kumasi only yesterday. Another one. I don't know what's happening with our markets and whether it's the way we build them, the way people live there, the electricity connection, whether they're cooking with gas. I don't really know.
Yeah, so many
It's something that's become way too common and we have to deal with it.
Exactly. Let me take you to a related story in the area of security. Page 4 of the Chronicle has an editorial that says Tamale Cyber Warfare Base. President Mahama has taken the right decision. 2 paragraphs of that particular editorial. It says President John Dramani Mahama's announcement of plans to establish Ghana's first cyber and electronic warfare center at the Tamale Air Force Base represents a significant shift in the country's national security strategy. It reflects growing recognition that modern security threats demand modern responses, particularly in an era where warfare extends beyond land, sea, and air into cyberspace. Now, it goes on to say the proposed facility to be located in the northern sector of the country is expected to provide real real-time border surveillance and process cyber and electronic assault capabilities in the event of external threats to national security.
Well, the finance ministry is warning against sabotage of AI-driven customs systems. So maybe this
people always want to sabotage.
People want to sabotage it for reasons best known to them. I'd like to move into a few other stories this morning. Egg glut eases as poultry farmers open new channels. Daniel Dromensa has a very refreshing story here that the Great Accra Poultry Farmers Association has confirmed that the egg glut recorded during the last quarter of last year has significantly reduced following the creation of alternative marketing channels that allows farmers to sell directly to consumers. According to the association, these direct-to-consumer engagements, largely through farm gate sales, are organized delivery systems, have helped stabilize supply, reduce over-reliance on traditional middlemen, and improved cash flow for poultry farmers.
Okay, Bernard, just last week we were talking about a Commander factory, right?
Yes, I'm told that, Charlie, that factory, over 7,000 jobs on the line, sugar cartels are sabotaging it.
Page 2 of the New Republic has that story, and it says, touted as a game changer for Ghana's economy and a beacon of hope for thousands of jobless youth in the region. The Commander Sugar Factory remains in limbo and rotten as alleged sugar importers cartel are working 24 hours to block its operationalization. Now, despite government's assurances that they will ensure revival of the factory or the facility has been idle for years, which, if operationalized, can provide over 7,000 potential jobs to the teeming unemployed youth in our country.
Let me give you two troubling stories. Metro Mass spare parts stuck at port for 2 years. This is page 13 of the Daily Graphic. We've been complaining about lack of public transport. It says the managing director of this graphic, page 13, by the way, MD of Metro Mass Transit Limited, Kale Caesar, has revealed that a container loaded with spare parts supplied by Dutch manufacturers VDL has remained at the port for more than 2 years. This, he said, had compounded the operational and financial challenges confronting the state-owned transport company. Speaking to the Daily Graphic, the MD disclosed that the container was imported under the company's previous management, but was never cleared from the port, leading to mounting charges and missed opportunity to deploy much-needed buses onto the roads. That container was full of steppers, was given to us by VDL. Our predecessors actually brought that container, he explained. He said that since that matter was brought to his attention, management has taken action to have the container cleared from the port. The process involved extensive engagement with state institutions, including the GRA, as management sought to understand why the container had remained stuck at the port for so long and what was required to clear it. After months of follow-up engagement with relevant authorities, he indicated that Metro Mass was now on the verge of clearing. So they haven't even cleared. They are on the verge.
2 years.
Charlie, it's on the verge.
You're not serious.
Of clear. If government could waive some, but our public sector and the way they work, Charlie, they are on the verge.
Can you imagine 2 years?
If government could waive some direct taxes and VAT on our import, it would greatly help our operations.
But what would be the cost of demurrage by this time?
I think they were negotiating for it to be cancelled. He said management had over 185 operational buses, but today the buses run between 120 and 130. All the revenue has significantly increased. We're always blaming it's Charlie. We clamor for the post. When we get it, we can't do anything
with it. It's sad.
Let's hope he's able to do something there.
Yeah, in a related story, the Temamoto Way expansion project, we are told that it's some 35% complete. The Ghanaian Times has the story, Stephanie Binkran writes that reconstruction works on the Temamoto Way expansion project in Accra are progressing steadily, with about 35% of the work completed, despite a temporary slowdown caused by funding challenges. Now, the motorway is being reconstructed into a modern facility comprising 3 distinct carriageways.
There are 2 very nice articles in the graphic I want you to focus on. Frema Edunyame has an article on Akabeneza's approach to entertainment and tourism. And then there's a very interesting article by my good friend Rodin Nkrumah Boateng.
Okay.
He says US is facing 2 bouts of ice, shot by ICE, surviving the ice. I think it's a really good story.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The US is going through a very cold patch, many states under snow, and ICE is also doing its worst. Another person has been shot in Minneapolis, the second in 2 weeks, and we're told that President Trump is sort of withdrawing his hardline stance as tension mounts in that part of the United States of America.
Yeah, Bernard, I quickly draw your attention to a story on the front page of the Catalyst newspaper that says stability is not the destination, it is the launch pad, according to the central bank boss. Now, the story says the BOG Governor, Dr. Johnson Pandit Isiama, has delivered a powerful call for discipline, clarity, and partnership in Ghana's economic reset, declaring that recent macroeconomic stability must serve not as an end in itself, but as the foundation for sustainable or sustained prosperity. He was speaking at a workshop organized by the Bank of Ghana for the private newspapers and online news publishers association, Print Park.
He's also basically faced with the MPC decision. So the High Street Journal has an interesting story. Said the 4 considerations that will shape the MPC's decision this week. So the Monetary Policy Committee is weighing 4 issues: the pace of easing, Citi stability, the future of the gold purchase program, and readiness for IMF scrutiny. These are the 4 considerations that the governor and his team will balance ahead of this week's Monetary Policy Committee meeting, which results we will know by close of the week.
Okay.
I want to take you to Mozambique, Sky, because these are our African brothers. And we're told that this is a story by Jose Tembe. Tens of thousands of people in Mozambique are being rescued as rising waters continue to devastate the Southern African nation. The worst flooding in a generation. Teams from Brazil, South Africa, and the UK have been helping with life-saving rescue operations. And according to a 24-year-old mechanic, this is the first time he's experienced a calamity of this magnitude. He said, as compared to a disaster that took place in 1994, actually in the 90s. Sky, if you look at this aerial photograph, you think it's a river, but it's actually people's homes that has been overtaken. You know, and I don't know what we as Ghana can do. We are helping friends in Jamaica after a hurricane. I want to urge government, let's put something together and support our brothers in Mozambique in the spirit of African solidarity.
Yes, and then also quickly, Bernard, we are getting reports from the north of the country that some military men in an operation at Abualewale in the northeast region have severely brutalized a reporter.
That was yesterday.
Yes, exactly. And this is another case of journalists being brutalized in their in the line of duty. I think the government has got to deal with the people responsible for this particular conduct. It is unacceptable. You can't be treating journalists like this.
Thank you, Sky. We'll come back to this and other stories. That was the newspaper